on the reggae radio. Every time,
Please give me some more of your love, baby. Give me some more of your loving, lady. Want some more of your squeezing, lady. Give me some more of your loving, lady. Want some more of your squeezing, lady. You make love so intensively, but you're leaving me hungry. You're leaving me hungry and crying for more, baby. Ooh, and I'm saving all my loving for you. Cause I don't know what a girl can do. Baby, you let me feel brand new, you know. And I love how you make me feel. You let me everything seems so real, yes. I love how you make me feel. You let me everything seems so real, yes. So give me some more of your loving, lady. Want some more of your squeezing, lady. Because it's too greedy, not pressure me. Cause that ain't easy, not pressure me. Because it's too greedy, not pressure me. Cause that ain't easy. I gave you all you need, but you were follow company and I rush me for money. Me make you look better than the rest, but that's me. Get me check me say you want a new dress. In my house, me make you rule, but you are going like a downtown fool. Every day you get up, you are fret I worry. Spot with your crew, never ever ready on. You must check, send me pick up money. Bust me short and walk out the eat, so no pressure me. Because it's too greedy, no pressure me. Cause that ain't easy, no pressure me. Because it's too greedy, no pressure me. Cause that ain't easy. If you don't stop, I'm gonna throw you out. Come me, not go sit down and make you use me out. Go on, if you original me, I feel you marshal. And if you think so you're smart, it better you go master, no pressure me. Because it's too greedy, no pressure me. Cause that ain't easy, no pressure me. Because it's too greedy, no pressure me. Why, well, don't pressure me. Don't pressure me. Because it's too greedy. And life ain't easy. No pressure me, no pressure me. You come to pressure me, no 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 pressure me.
Boom!
Easy no man.
It's Miss Lulu. Easy familia, easy now, es Miss Lulu a los controles, Mundo Reggae Radio Show, IG Live Interviews. Interview today con Lilly Melody, a.k.a. ISIAH Mentor, quien está listísimo para compartir su historia musical. My name is Miss Lulu. I'm from Tijuana, Mexico. I'm broadcasting live out of Honolulu, Hawaii, and I'm about to join in ISIAH Mentor, a.k.a. Lilly Melody, to share his history, which I'm gonna be translated to Spanish para toda mi gente en México y el mundo entero. Es Miss Lulu Revelation International Son, compartiendo lo mejor del reggae internacional en todos sus formatos, en todos sus estilos. Es Miss Lulu para ti. Disfruta un par de tunes más, Old School, New School, Lilly Melody. Después se cambió el nombre a ISIAH Mentor. Vamos a escuchar su lado Son Clash Killer con Lilly Melody, el nombre. Luego vamos a escuchar uno de sus tunes que han sonado por acá como ISIAH Mentor. Y luego vamos a compartirlo contigo y el mundo entero. Su historia en vivo y en directo, ISIAH Mentor.
La la, some boy, now you make me have to touch you, boy. La la, some boy, now you make me have to touch you. Ceasefire selector, when you fire selector, 'cause all them a play, them can't do a thing. Ceasefire selector, when you fire selector, 'cause all them a play, they can't do a thing. Listen to them fall, they say Lord, what a murderation. Take it easy for the boy, them sing fun. Lord, what a batteration. Take it easy for the boy, them. Oh, you so good, me selector. Oh, you so good, me selector. Me come to tease them, trouble them, tease them, trouble them, tease them, trouble them, go on. Who we can this a son them have to rule out the land. Tease them, trouble them, trouble them, trouble them, tease them, trouble them, go on. Who we can this a son them have to rule out the land. Oh yeah, yeah. Cease fire selector. When you fire selector, 'cause all them a play, they can't do a thing. She's a rough, she's a rough, she's a rough, she's a rough, she's a rough. Jano, she's a rough. Too rough for me. You see, she is a roughneck, a roughneck. She too bright and impertinent. She is a roughneck, a roughneck. She don't stand for Germany. From you see this little girl, you know she is a disobedient. This little girl no one no self-confidence. This little girl no stand for dominate. Because she knows a Lilly melody is well excellent. Me speak to Prime Minister, opposition and President. I'm magnificent, 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 magnificent. Predominant, 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 predominant. She is a roughneck, a roughneck. She too bright and impertinent. She is a roughneck, a roughneck. She don't stand for dominance. From you see this little girl, you know she is a ragamuffin. 'Cause every dance you can see her fighting.
For the roughneck girls in the area and the roughneck boys.
She at the iron and one of the bunch, she disobedient. This little girl, she is not decent. She live on the ocean one night, so she full of an argument. She is a roughneck, a roughneck. She too bright and impertinent. She is a roughneck, a roughneck. She don't stand for Germany. Me a go akla bada via, me a go akla bada via.
Warming up to join Lilly Melody, a.k.a. ISIAH Mentor.
And this a girl a gonna be Masha. She is a roughneck, a roughneck. She too bright and impertinent.
Avísale a tu mamá, avísale a tu papá, avísale a tu hermana y a tu hermano, a toda la gente que conozcas que le gusta el reggae music, a toda la gente que conozcas que disfruta de ISIAH Mentor Music. Se va a unir. Este es el IG Live Sessions de Miss Lulu, Mundo Reggae Radio Show, a.k.a. Revelation International Sound.
She too bright and impertinent. Here we are. She is a roughneck, a roughneck. She don't stand for Germany. From you see this little girl, you know she is a disobedient. This little girl no one no self-confidence. No, this little girl no stand for dominate. Alright, because she knows a Lilly melody is well excellent. Me speak to Prime Minister, opposition and President. I'm magnificent, 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 magnificent. Predominant, 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 predominant. She is a roughneck, a roughneck. She too bright and impertinent. She is a roughneck, a roughneck. She don't stand for Germany. Me a go akla bada via, me a go akla bada via. Akla bada via, me a go akla bada via. Me a go akla bada via, me a go akla bada via. And she a gone like a field marshal. She is a roughneck, a roughneck. She too bright and impertinent. She is a roughneck. She is a roughneck. Jano, she is a roughneck. Think we're full. A long time we have on the roll. But the fool we did a fool. Now we have the tool ready, man. Give me back when you rubber from the poor man's stock. Give me back, no make me have to lip your shot. Give it back when you rubber from the poor man's stock. Give it back because we don't love your act. Because killing is not the solution. So pack up and leave. But from the bus to Bram Bram. You see, killing is not the solution. So give her respect because we are human. Bless our island, oh Jah.
Mundo Reggae Radio.
Right, you know. People of West Kingston, rise and unite against crime.
All the killers are good rule if they get in your time.
Right, you know. Oh, dirty corner boy, God not sleep. Too much blood on the streets. That is corner boy. What do you know you are? Who you are gonna make it on the evening news? Friend killer corner boy. Come and it's a switch them and go find to your head and stick. Warrior corner boy. Turn yourself in, other people are gonna jump it off plane.
Check. Welcome in.
Greetings. The show sound loud, cut and clear and balanced. It's sounding very good. Everything plug in, you know?
And the heat of Honolulu, Hawaii is on with these tunes, with this interview. Welcome. My honor, my pleasure to have you here on the IG live sessions of the Mundo Reggae radio show. How are you today? ISIAH mentor, a.k.a. Lilly Melody.
I am blessed. I am honored to be in your presence and the presence of powerful, good people in Mexico, Hawaii, and all around the world. Because your station is worldwide, it's a worldwide thing, and it's an honor. One of my first time being exposed to the people in Mexico, Hawaii. So it's a blessing, and I'm very honored by that. You know?
Oh wow, my pleasure to help you get to the Mexican people. As I told you earlier, I'm gonna be translating for everyone looking, watching and hearing in Mexico and around Latin America. Señoras y señores, es ISIAH Mentor, a.k.a. Lilly Melody en el área, long time in Addis, como Sound Clash Killa, como Conscious Killa. Es un cantante de Jamaica que tiene muchísimo que contar. Saludos para Chile, saludos para México, saludos para Estados Unidos, saludos desde el Grandfather Sam Studio, transmitiendo para ustedes ISIAH Mentor, a.k.a. Lilly Melody, quien también se encuentra en territorio estadounidense, listo y contentísimo de compartir con nosotros, de compartirnos su historia. There's so much to talk about you, about your career.
Yes. And I just want to say thank you to you and your program and to give us re-emerge in our upcoming artist. This opportunity is a big blessing. Thank you so much.
It's all about preserving reggae music in here, and I know that is the message in your heart too by doing music, is preserving the culture that'll help you grow as a human being, as an artist. There's years and years, levels and levels, tunes and tunes, hits and hits to talk about. So let's start by the beginning. I was reading that your talent was discovered by your auntie when you were 10 years old. I want to know, how was that moment? Who was that auntie? What's the name of that auntie, to give thanks to her?
Before I get into that real quick, I must give you credit. You sound like a real journalist. You do your homework, and I appreciate that.
We'll try keep it as the level of the artist is the pass through to preserve properly their music and their history. So give thanks for the recognition and for taking your time today to join and talk about your story.
Yeah, thank you. So no, my auntie name is Dita, and in Jamaica and most of the Caribbean and even Latin America, we have grandmothers who do not play around. You have chores where you're responsible for cleaning either the kitchen or the veranda. They call it a porch, but in English, they call it veranda. So my chore on Saturday, like Sunday, was a very big important day because Sunday is a family day, and my job is to clean the kitchen floor and the veranda. So on a Saturday night, and when I say clean, you have to do almost 4 layers of cleaning where you have to sweep. You have
Make sure you clean proper.
Yes. So I was doing that and I was singing a song. But at the time when I was singing, I did not know the power and the vibration of singing. I was just singing. I did not know necessarily the effect of singing. I was singing naturally. And my aunt walked past and heard me singing a song called Stealing Love on the Side. And she said, "Who was that singing?" And I said, I said, "That was me." And she called the rest of the family to hear me singing. So from that day, I discovered that singing has an effect on people.
Big up to your auntie, big up para la tía, Fue su tía quien a los 10 años de edad lo descubrió cantando. Los domingos ya lo hemos escuchado de otros jamaiquinos. Es un día muy importante para la familia, es un día familiar en Jamaica. Y ese domingo hay una tía siempre alrededor en la casa que se encarga de acarrear a todas las chamacas y chamacos para hacer el aseo, lo que llamamos nosotros hacer las tareas del hogar mientras estaba limpiando sus 4 etapas de limpieza, porque se tenía que limpiar propiamente. Él estaba cantando naturalmente, sin ninguna guía, sin conocimiento de que tenía ni siquiera una buena voz, una voz afinada. Cuando su tía entró al cuarto y dijo, ¿quién está cantando? ¿Quién era esa canción? Y le dijo, era yo. Entonces su tía le habló a toda la familia para que se dieran cuenta que el chamaco de 10 años, nacido como Ian, tenía un talento muy grande. A big talent discovered by your auntie, and then all the family came in. How were you in those days? 10 years old. What music will you listen to sing out and discover yourself and your family, your talent?
Yeah, thank you for that question. So as a child, I think I was 9 or 10, and I was singing Barrington Levy to. I just loved singing Barrington Levy at the time, and the pitch, its pitch. I've always sing the levels. I always sing. I used to listen to him, Dennis Brown, Eddie Fitzroy. It's really those three artists I would focus on as far as loving. Of course, Bob Marley's there, but I wasn't really a big Bob Marley fan at the time. It was mostly Barrington Levy, Eddie Fitzroy, yeah, those type of artists. Sugar Minott, very big deal. Yeah, Sugar Minott. So those were the
Sugar
artists.
Minott,
Yes.
super big in México.
Okay.
Barrington Levy, Dennis Brown, Eddie Fitzroy, son los nombres que a esa edad, de 9, 10 años, él escuchaba y sonaba con. What happens after that? You grow up and you started collaborating with Waterhouse, Firehouse, with King Toby, which was one of your mentors. Was that your first works and involvement into that? Or what happens between the age of 10 to your 20 years that you start working there?
Okay, so after I was discovered by my aunt, I went to high school in Tivoli Gardens, and so I was just singing, singing all his school, Macaulay all his schools in a place called Spanish Town, St. Catherine. So I was a local community singer. I would sing in the schools, I would sing in around the neighborhood, and then the Ministry of Health kept a concert, and they asked me to perform because I was starting to develop now in the community first. And so I performed for Ministry of Health, and then people in the bigger part of Spanish Town, St. Catherine, started to discover me. So I started to go out in the big towns and the big nightclubs and start singing. And so it was an evolution from there. Then it started spreading to Kingston, and that's when I ran into the engineer for King Tubby's recording studio. Saw me in a place called Old Auburn, invited me to the studio. And to make a long story short, once I got to the studio, I become one of the resident singer for the Firehouse record label, Kingston by King Tubby's record.
All right. Después de su descubrimiento por su tía, le pregunto yo qué pasa, porque alrededor de los 20 años empieza a trabajar en el estudio de King Toby, a colaborar con Firehouse, el estudio. Dice que entre ese intermedio hubo un concierto en Spanish Town, Jamaica, por la ministra de Cultura, donde lo invitaron, y ahí lo escuchó uno de los ingenieros de sonido del estudio de King Toby. Lo invitaron al estudio y dice, para no hacerse las larga historia hecha corta, desde el primer momento en que se apareció en el estudio, pues se convirtió en un residente tal cual de ese estudio, que era el estudio de King Toby, donde si estás familiarizado con la cultura en ese entonces en Jamaica, los artistas, prácticamente músicos y cantantes, se paraban afuera de los estudios a esperar a que les dieran el trabajo. Él era un residente oficial del estudio de King Toby, empezó a colaborar con Firehouse, Waterhouse y más productores. What was your first tune? It was one of the tunes I just played before your album in 1988, which was the year that I was born into.
Wow.
What was the first tune that you actually recorded in that studio?
No pressure, man. No pressure,
Okay.
man. Because you're too greedy, no pressure, man. Just like happening, no pressure, man. Because you're too greedy, no pressure, man. Why, whoa. I gave you all you need, but you are follow company and I rush me for money. Me make you look better than the rest. You know that one. That's the very first one.
What was the kind of pressure that you were feeling at that age?
So at that age, I was just reflecting the feelings of grown, more older adults, like maybe my uncle, my aunt, or other adults. Because even as a child, I used to absorb or acknowledge other people's pressure. So for me at that age, I never really have no girlfriend problem or no problem, to deal with that directly. But even most songwriters, they take other people's energy and put it out in melodic forms to teach, basically.
Su primera canción fue Pressure Me, que la cantaba un pedacito y la tocábamos al inicio de esta entrevista. Le pregunto yo qué clase de presión sentía siendo apenas un veinteañero. Dice que desde muy joven ya era consciente de la presión social y del sufrimiento social de otras personas. No tenía realmente un problema de amores, no tenía esa presión de una mujer, simplemente le cantaba a la represión, vaya, que se vivía desde entonces en Jamaica. Those days you were named Lily Melody. You
Yeah.
changed your name almost a decade ago. Tell me who named you as Lily Melody or how you came in those days as Lily Melody.
Wow. I really like the questions. I started as Little Melody because I was living in a part of Jamaica called Central Village. And every morning I used to get up and go by the riverside and do voice. It's like a voice exercise, a voice training. And the song that I used to sing as a young singer was a Barrington Levy called Black Roses. And so the neighborhood people, 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, they would get upset and say, "What's wrong with that boy? Why him get up every morning and sing, hey, you need to go get a job or whatever." So I used to get up every 6 o'clock, go by the riverside and sing "Black, Black Roses in my garden" every morning. And the neighbors were very upset, but I didn't care. And so my friends used to hear me sing, and it's by some lily flowers in the water. I love nature. And they said, "You need a name because you sing, you don't have a name, and you always buy this one particular lily flowers." So, they gave me the name Lily, and they said my name is full of melody. So they just called me, my friend called me Lily Melody at the time. So that's where that name come from initially. But I could go more further in the evolution as to why I became ISIAH mentor, if you want me now or when you're ready to ask the question.
Yes. Lily Melody cantaba a todo pulmón para sus vecinos, quien lo escuchaban y se enojaban porque repetía y repetía esa canción que todos conocemos, Black Roses de Barrington Levy, que ya era hit en aquel entonces, también en su pueblo, y sus amigos le dijeron: "Oye, necesitas un nombre porque cantas muy bien", y a él siempre le ha encantado la naturaleza. Entonces Lily se viene refiriendo a las flores que hay en los ríos de Jamaica, y pues su voz está llena de melodía. Entonces en ese entonces se le llamó Lily Melody. Después, hace más de una década, debido a su fe en el movimiento Rastafari, cambió su nombre a ISIAH Mentor. I think we're ready to hear that story of how at that young age you started, when most of the people were doing dancehall, you were still doing dancehall and song clash lyrics, and there was a moment in your life, I guess, that Rastafari just fulfill your life. and the consciousness that you were feeling by already singing pressure lyrics just take part of you. Let me know how that vision came to change your name to ISIAH Mentor.
Okay. So in the camp, in this record company called Firehouse, Firehouse labeled by King Tubby's, he's the iconic producer. He's well renowned as one of the founders of many things. And so in that camp, you have different artists like Anthony Red Rose, we have King Kong, Wayne Palmer, Banana Man, a lot of different artists used to be in that camp. And down the street from that studio was King Jammys with Half Pint, Tenor, everybody, Michael Palmer, everybody. So that community was a very energetic musical community in Waterhouse, Kingston. So in the camp, I was in King Tubby's Firehouse. I was one of the only artists in the camp that was more reserved, a little bit quiet, and basically want to sing in a style that comes from within my own original style one. But now that I'm older, I realize now because I did not know why I was preserved and why I didn't get a number one song back then. And so after I keep singing as Little Melody, I have a song called Oh You Pretty. So my song has been played, distributed by Tough Gong Records, everything. I start traveling. My grandmother, asked me to come to the United States, stuff like that. So I was going through a transition of finding myself, I know there was something more to just singing Sing J at King Tubby's. So after traveling, like to America or different places, I said, okay, Mother Earth wants me to, the full potential of who I am going to be needs to start come out. So my mother is a Rastafarian. And so in a true meditation, I find myself being connected to the planet. I do a lot of meditation to find myself, to find a higher level of consciousness. Rastafari and the liberty of Rastafari came to me through meditation. And that's when I said, okay, in order to do the work of Rastafari, I have to clean the way how I think, how I eat, how I live, to accept that journey and that lifestyle of Rastafari. And so in a vision, through meditation, Mother Earth said, your name has to be symbolic of the work that you're about to do, of your journey. And so the name ISIAH Mentor was bestowed on me.
A través del movimiento de migración que lo llevó a conocer Estados Unidos, estaba en una etapa de transición, se fue a vivir con su tía alrededor del 2000 a Estados Unidos. Su mamá es creyente del movimiento Rastafari y justo en esa transición se dio cuenta que tenía un llamado para dedicar su vida más completamente a esta cultura. Y en una visión, la Madre Tierra le avisó que tenía que llevar un nombre musical en su carrera de acuerdo con la transición que estaba a punto de hacer, que era, como lo dice, transformarse al Liberty, al modus vivendi del Rastafari, realmente limpiar su estilo de alimentación, su estilo de vida, mente, cuerpo y alma, como lo decimos. Y de ahí viene ISIAH Mentor. What it means, ISIAH?
ISIAH, it has different meaning, depends on which geographical location, but in the Bible it's a prophet. I don't see myself as a prophet yet, but I'm striving to be one that sees things and bring it back out to the people.
También nos comentaba hace un momento que de todo el crew en el Waterhouse area de Jamaica, enfrente del estudio de King Tubby estaba el estudio de King Jammy, donde se encontraba Tenor Sal, High Pine, y en el estudio de King Tubby ya había también otros artistas y siempre se consideraba él el más introvertido de todos. Se preguntaba a sí mismo por qué no tengo yo un hit mayor, incluso después de haber grabado su primer álbum. y era porque realmente su vida encajaba más en el lado Rastafari que en el lado dancehall y las líricas, que por cierto ya iban cambiando para finales de los 90s a lo que le llaman el slackness. Your first album came, as I was saying, in 1988.
Okay.
What's your
Yes,
favorite tune in that album? What was your experience recording your first album?
it's yeah. So it was for Park Heights in Brooklyn, in Brooklyn, New York, and he just, he's been following my work, and he invited me to come to the studio, to have a meeting, and then we set up a time and an agreement, and the agreement was very good. I was pleased with the outcome of the initial meeting, and then we just start recording, and my favorite of the songs I love, but the song that it seems that I perform a lot worldwide, all the way up, France, Germany, everywhere I go, is a song called "Give It to Me, Mr. Melody." Um, give it to me. It's called "Give It to Me," and so it's a love song, and that the way how people accepted it's amazing. So yes, that was my, because up until this day, I keep singing that song everywhere I go.
Recuerda con muy buenos sentimientos esta experiencia de grabar su primer álbum en 1988, que es el álbum que vemos de Prop acá detrás de mí. Give It To Me pues la canción de amor que más resalta en su corazón de este álbum, es la canción que más canta en vivo también, dice, hasta la fecha. Give It To Me, de ahí se vienen muchísimas producciones. Besides King Toby, your music was also present and released, many of them on the Eclipse level. What was your relationship with Philip Smart? How that happened? Was him the one that invited you in the first festival?
Okay, so Philip Smart is a student of King Tubby. Um, King Jamil is a student of King Tubby. My main producer teaches everybody. That is a prominent engineer, and became an iconic studio. So all of the icons in Jamaica, most of them, come from my producer, King Tubby's, David Ruddock, Osborne Ruddock, sorry, a.k.a. King Tubby's, a.k.a. Firehouse, a.k.a. Waterhouse. And so King Jamil, Bobby Digital, all of them, and Philip Smart came out of the hands of King Tubby. So when I traveled to the US, my engineer, again, professor, migrated and brought me back into the studio again, and we recorded that song "Ceasefire Selection," the reggae version of La Bamba. The initial producer that brought me from Jamaica came to the US and brought me back in, and we got the song that went #2 in New York, the reggae version of La Bamba, dancehall style.
La Bamba, como ya conocemos, es un gran hit y uno de sus tunes. Le preguntaba yo cuál es su relación con Philip Smart. Él es uno de los estudiantes también de King Toby, al igual que King Jammy y al igual que Bobby Digital, en paz descanse. Su productor de ISIAH Mentor, realmente su ingeniero fue y lo llamó y reclamó por él cuando se mudó a Nueva York, y así es que se viene su primer número 2 en los charts, que fue esta reversión de La Bamba que escuchábamos también al inicio de esta transmisión. Estamos platicando con ISIAH Mentor, a.k.a. Lilly Melody. We're having a chat broadcasting from Honolulu, Hawaii. This is Miss Lulu having a wonderful chat conversation with
Yes.
Lilly Melody, a.k.a. ISIAH Mentor, talking about his mentor, talking about his name, his first tunes. A long way after that, you have created your own label. You moved for a while, 7 years to be exact, to Shashamane, the land of freedom, so-called and named in many, many songs. I think I was talking about it a few years ago with a song, Shashamane Living, that many, many artists we hear talking about, and we know about the story, many of us, but it's count of them that have actually lived and experienced in the land. Can you tell us to the people that is not familiar with what Shashamaniland means for Rastafari people and what it means to you?
Okay, very good question. Thank you so much for that question. So Ethiopia is dear to the arts of Rastafarian people, and should be and is dear to the art of people around the world, people of African descent, people of Spanish descent, people from all over the world, based on the fact that at the time of different parts of Europe being invaded or taken over, or different religious groups or looking for a high level of consciousness as in a leader, we found Haile Selassie, the Emperor of Ethiopia, as our guide and our spiritual guide. The different outfits of Rastafarian see Haile Selassie different as a god and as a king, as a spiritual guide. And so, in short, when Haile Selassie visited Jamaica, and we get to, as people, get to be around him and see him for the first time, is one of the most, it was one of the most best feeling any human being could ever have, to see someone that we adore, look up to. And so as Haile Selassie appropriate a part of Shashamane land for Rastafarians and people that accept the Rastafarian movement. We have a lot of people all over the world. We have a lot of Latino Rastafarians. We have Mexican Rastafarians. We have, all over Europe, Rastafarians. So Shashamane and the fact that Haile Selassie lived in different parts of Wanda, Addis Ababa, the land become a spiritual part of who we are, and Haile Selassie becomes the nucleus of our being. So that's the connection partially.
Cuando Haile Selassie visitó Jamaica, el movimiento de respeto hacia él ya era muy grande y en esos tiempos se encontraba Europa invadiendo Etiopía y desde aquel entonces se les destinó un ejido, por así decirlo, que se le ha llamado Shashamane para la gente creyente, la gente que ejerce el rastafarismo. Ahí se encuentra gente rastafari, descendientes de todo el mundo, inclusive en México. Vivo para el campamento Rasta en México, vivo para toda la comunidad Rasta en el mundo entero. Vivo for the Mexican Rasta community, Latin American community around the world, to all the Rastafari movement around the world, who has influenced reggae music in a big way.
Yes,
There's a style of reggae music called conscious reggae music, which all the styles of rhythms that Lilly Melody or ISIAH Mentor have write is always been in a conscious style. It's very important for you being conscious of your lyrics. You're very aware of the need of re-education. How was your experience in there, and how has influence on your conscious lyrics, your experience in the Shashamane land?
Okay. Shashamane land gave me a balance as far as my knowledge about the planet. It brings to a 360 balance as far as the understanding of the psychology of humans, not only psychology, but the historical evolution. And so I got clarity now as to a lot of stuff that has to do with human beings and where they're coming from, where they're going, and as to teachings that are not necessarily true, brainwashing, all of that I got rid of by going to Ethiopia.
Su experiencia en esa tierra durante 7 años le dio una apertura mental y la seguridad de que su camino consciente en la industria de la música pues era el buen camino. What happens after that? How did you create your own label? Tell me the story of your own label and your own productions.
Okay, so reggae music changes. Reggae music, not changes, sorry, it evolves as far as the production parts of it. And the music is constant, but the psychology of human beings and how they deal and produce with reggae changes constantly. And sometimes it changes not in our favor as an artist. And separately from that, I'm an independent thinker. I'm a solution-based thinker anyway. So it's inevitable that I would produce my own music because I didn't want one man to produce 10 artists on a song and then might just become a statistics.
Entonces creó su propio sello después de las experiencias que la vida te da. El reggae cambia, la industria cambia, es una industria al final de cuentas, y sintió simplemente natural el movimiento de crear su propio sello para no ser uno en el montón de versiones de un rhythm del mismo productor o de los mismos productores con los que ha trabajado. You have kept yourself active all this time. Now we've been tuning to your recent tune with the All Capital from France,
Yeah.
the new rhythm of the All Capital, which I hope we can get to play at the end of this tune. Give Me the Ganja Now with ISIAH. It's two recent big levels and all-time and big levels. Rasta Government was your second album. How many albums do you have?
Rasta Government is I think it's the second album. I do not have a lot of albums. I think I may have maybe two or three, simply because I try not to record too much songs to one producer, and two, I believe an artist should get at least a big hit song before you do an album. So I am working on that big hit song that I am sure with the help of Mother Earth will come. Then I will put out a really master class album.
Village Roots Records es el nombre de su propio sello. Ha seguido trabajando en varios sencillos con su propio sello. Su segundo álbum fue Rasta Government y tiene más por producir con él solito, autoproducciones y producciones con más gente alrededor del mundo. Yo ya sé que acaba de volver de Jamaica, donde estuvo grabando con Luciano y Mikey General. You just come back from Jamaica and you have a tune cooking on the oven on your own level with these two big figures that have been tuning too in the Mundo Reggae radio show together with the last tune together, which was a great hit. I can't wait to hear you and those two voices. Tell me, what can we hear? What can we get to know right now about this tune coming?
Okay, so the name of the song, the title, I just, because it's in production, and it's called "Give a Income," and the songs deal with the poor youths, the youth in Brazil, the youth in Kingston, Jamaica, the youth in Mexico, the youth in Europe, the youths in Africa, the young youth. The solution in any problem, as far as violence, the youth in Belize, in Trinidad, just give the youth the income, let them have a sense of purpose and get a job, and they will work. Not all of them wants to kill and rob and steal, only because, not to justify it. And so here, if I'm going to do a collaboration, I need to do a song that is solution-based. So the song is called Give a Income, and it's a powerful song. It's on the Things and Times rhythm. We shoot the video the same night, and it's a single that on my Village Roots record. And Miss Lulu is gonna be one of the first one to play, so I can't wait.
Yes, man. We love the exclusive style on the Mundo Reggae Radio Show. Y en exclusive style nos está contando de esta colaboración que tiene por venir junto a Luciano y Mikey General, que se llama Denles el dinero, básicamente. Give them the income. Denles la ganancia a los jóvenes. Habla de los jóvenes en México, en Kingston, en Europa, en Ucrania, en Rusia. A esos jóvenes que no nada más quieren las armas y la violencia, esos jóvenes que sí queremos trabajar, que nos paguen bien. De eso habla esta canción que acaba de grabar en Jamaica, el mismo día que grabaron esta canción sobre un revival rhythm que vamos a escuchar muy pronto en exclusiva en el Mundo Reggae. Grabaron el video oficial, así que podemos esperar en formato video esta canción próximamente. Your tunes are available in different formats. Your albums are available in different formats. You have been part of the evolution of reggae music and music industry the tape, CD, vinyl, video formats, so the people can actually enjoy the physical person. You have been live and direct touring for many years, and in sharing, you still active during pandemic and you back active after pandemic with your music. What's your favorite format to present your music? Do you love being on the studio? Do you love being on the stage more? Do you love tapes? Do you love vinyl? What's your style?
Okay. To be honest with you, all of what you just mentioned, I love performing. I really do love performing because I get to interact with people. Recording, I love recording. But being on stage and seeing the crowd and make people happy is my favorite.
Su parte favorita de su carrera es estar en el escenario, compartir y de hecho interactuar con la gente que disfruta de sus líricas, que disfruta de su música. Se viene en Exclusive Style, Give Them the Income, featuring Luciano, Mikey General y
Yeah.
el mismísimo Lilly Melody, a.k.a. ISIAH Mentor. I'm so happy to share your story. I'm so happy to share your experience. I'm so happy to know that you keep working hard for delivering conscious lyrics, song clash lyrics, and many more in your two alter egos. Because Lily Melody is still present on the voice of the song clash. Tell me your experience on the sound system, being in Jamaica, growing in Jamaica. How was the sound system then? How was the sound system now that you just were there?
The sound system back there, it was an innocent time where people were just having fun. All the different Josie Wales, Charlie Chaplin, Brigadier Jerry, all these artists were more mature artists, and I used to look up to them. But the lyrical content and the chemistry back then was just natural, easy, good, fun people were having. And so that really motivated me and influenced me a lot. And so as dancehall, the evolution of dancehall is here, you may have different artists that have different perspective and different style and stuff like that. But I really love the innocent times in the 80s and the 90s.
Describe la escena del sound system, de la cultura sound system en aquellos tiempos como su favorita, la última etapa de los 80s, el inicio de los 90s, cuando dice era simplemente un movimiento inocente que la gente no realmente se daba cuenta del poder que iba a tener o que tiene ahora el sound system. Eran chavos divirtiéndose, incluso artistas consolidados, como menciona Brigadier Jerry, Charlie Chaplin, que eran los que solía ver para arriba en la escena sound system en aquel entonces. Responde a mi pregunta de cómo era el sound system en aquel entonces, cómo fue su experiencia en el sound y cómo lo ve a comparativa de hoy que acaba de visitar Jamaica. Besides this song In the Oven, besides this Newton Somebody Song You Dead now with Judy K, a.k.a. All Capital.
Uh-huh.
What else are you cooking? What else we can expect soon?
I am on a direction now where I'm going to focus on collaboration. So we are in talks about a collaboration with Capleton and some other artists. So for the rest of the year, up to until this year, I am focusing on collaborations. And I may have different singles, but I'm mostly focused on collaborations right now. So after this one, Lucian Man, Michael General, where I'm talking with, well, we start the production, honestly, with a collaboration with Capleton.
Le pregunto que después de este tune que vamos a tener en exclusiva, que se está cocinando, ¿qué más se viene? Dice que ya empezó a hacer una canción, ya empezó la producción de una combinación con Capleton y se va a enfocar en hacer colaboraciones. Ya lo he dicho antes, mi parte favorita de álbums y de los artistas es escucharlos juntos, es las colaboraciones. I said it before, if there's an album coming, if there's a rhythm coming, I look forward initially for the combinations, collaborations, to hear artists sounding together is one of my favorite things. So big of yourself for focusing on collaborating with big names. I was very happy reading your biography to see names of people that means a lot for the Mundo Reggae. Big up George Palmer, big up Naphtali. It's very nice to see people that has been long time in this collaborating also with young artists.
Yeah.
If there's something else you want to mention about your career before we stop
Yeah.
this conversation and share a couple more tunes, what will it be?
Well, what I want to say, ceasefire, Miss Lulu, lad. What if I am Miss Lulu? Cause all them I play, them can't do a thing. The people them ball, me say, lad, what a murderation. Miss Lulu, she a fire the big bang. Lad, what a slaughteration. Miss Lulu, she a fire. What if I am Miss Lulu, lad? Ceasefire, Miss Lulu, cause all them I play. Now, or a.k.a. Lilly Melody on the big station with Miss Lolo. You don't know Mundo Reggae. Yes, my people. I just want to say, people in Mexico, people in Hawaii, Brazil, all over the Caribbean, Jamaica, and Africa. We're heading for a socio-economical tsunami is heading in our way. So please be conscious of how you spend and how you live. Make sure that you love your children and be careful because the psychology of people will be changing even more, and you will have people that are opportunists. So just focus on righteousness, spread love with human beings, and just be careful and see if we could survive it, you know?
Después de un chiquidoplate con la bamba y Miss Lulu, nos comparte su mensaje. Justo iba a preguntarle la clásica del final de las entrevistas, ¿qué le dirías al mundo si tienes la oportunidad de ser escuchado por todos? Te dice que tengas cuidado de esa gente oportunista, de los gobiernos oportunistas, de la sociedad oportunista, que respetes y cuides a los niños, a los jóvenes, a las niñas, a las jóvenes, que te cuides a ti mismo y que te mantengas pendiente del Mundo Reggae Radio Show con Miss Lulu, porque vamos a seguir tocando y compartiendo su música. ISIAH mentor, a.k.a. Lilly Melody, has been a pleasure to me to share with you this past hour talking about your story. Looking forward to hear more new tunes, more albums, more steps in your worldwide career, to see you on stage one day soon on your favorite part of your career, and to keep the link with you in the Mundo Reggae Radio Show to share your music.
Mundo Radio Show will be my home. Anything comes out of my new songs, I'll make sure that you and your fans and listeners get the pre-release before anybody else get it. I promise you will get it, and I appreciate the opportunity that I get for you to bring me to your audience. You're an extremely good interviewer. You should be working at the UN as a translator. You're very good, and you make my job easy. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for trusting in this humble admirer of reggae music. It's all about love and devotion for reggae music. Thank you so much for the appreciation, for the time to share. Thank you so much for sharing your talents for all these years, and to keep the message of reggae music. We're gonna keep playing a couple more tunes. I have the African Princess Rhythm here on 7-inch, and I have the Song Clash Time Again from the Old Capital, both from France. Please stay saying the fire emojis in the chat, and keep enjoying. Have a wonderful day there. We will
Thank
keep
you so
looking
much.
forward for those exclusives.
Yeah, thank you so much. I want you to big up Billy K from Old Capital. Big up all the good producers out there worldwide and all people that support me. Big up Hawaii people, big up Mexico, big up Spain, Basque Country. That is my first sold out show in Saint Sebastian. Big up all my friends there. Respect, blessed love.
I saw in the chat earlier two of my favorite female singers from Spain, Albi and Sista Carmen from United Flavor. Big up to the whole people in Spain, en el País Vasco y en todas las esquinas de Europa y el mundo entero. ISIAH mentor, a.k.a. Lilly Melody.
Thank you so much.
I'm feeling irie, stress and problems can't make us stop.
I'm feeling irie. Stress and problems down me rasta. Give me ganja now. Sweet reggae music, make you turn it up louder. Tell me how me sound, how you like me now. Now rhythm you lock to bass. Give me skank to the drum and bass. Give me ganja now. Sweet rubber dubber, make you turn it up louder. Tell me how me sound, how you like me now. Now rhythm you lock to bass. While me skank to the drum and bass. Them a try stress me with me problems. Only ganja can solve them. From me face, me no want them. Music make us stand them happiness. And when me want them, herbs make me dancing. Praise to Jah every morning. Never watch them TV. The lies that they feed me. Reggae music make Rasta life easy. Them make a one and galang and easy. Them can't trouble me. Give me ganja now. Sweet reggae music make you turn it up louder. Tell me how me sound, how you like me now. The ganja you lock the place. When we skank to the drum and bass. Give me ganja now. Sweet rubber dubber make you turn it up louder. You tell me how me sound, how you like me now. Now rhythm you lock the place. When we skank to the drum and bass.
Lilly Melody, a.k.a. ISIAH Mentor para el Mundo Reggae Radio Show, presentando su historia musical, platicándonos de toda su carrera y prometiendo los exclusives. Su último tune disponible en plataformas musicales es Someday Now con The All Capital Records. Lilly Melody, Someday Now, a.k.a. ISIAH Mentor. Big up to yourself.
Well, it's a real soul clash. Lilly Melody, treat them like a trash. Man, a bad man sound boy, run on your mouth. My sound will shell your compound. We have enough to be kill. Bloody taco still sound boy, me say go right for your will. How's another sound then now?
Big up George Palmer en el área, big up Deadly Dragon Sound, Auta Nueva York, big up para el Gognon, Auta de Father Sam Studio por la colaboración de el día de hoy con las recomendaciones de los tunes sonando en el Mundo Reggae Radio Show. Es el nuevo tune de Lilly Melody, a.k.a. ISIAH Mentor, Someday Now.
Well, it's a real sound clash. Lilly Melody, treat them like a trash. Man, a bad man sound boy, run out your mouth. My sound will shell your compound. We have enough to be kill. Bloody taco still sound boy, me say go right for your will. How's another sound then?